end of the day, what is all that called for that specific person? Frustration. If they can't get out of the car because they're significantly overweight, they're frustrated. If they can't make a time for themselves or their family, they're frustrated.
But sometimes that could go either way. They could either say, I'm going to try to get myself better, or you get so frustrated, you're going to fall deeper into that.
You say, screw it.
Yeah.
This is going to hurt. It's time for the Suffering Podcast. That first responders do to their bodies, not even their mind. Forget about their mind for a second. Their bodies.
Ooh.
Like donut shops.
I was just going to say what they
Eating
eat.
on the go.
Yeah,
what they eat, what they drink. But again, it's understandable. Like Mike said earlier, it's the way their shift requires them. Some men and women don't have time to go home and have a nice meal during their lunch break.
And a quick thing to do is stop at McDonald's and grab a quick burger and
cheap.
So they're
on the go.
Correct. On the go, something quick, something fast. That doesn't mean that food is also bad for you, but it also plays a role on how you think in life, because you're like, all right, my life is on the go. Then I have to jump to this restaurant or that restaurant to grab something on the go. There goes your health and there goes your mind, because your mind is set to on the go.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work that way. You have to set your mind and your body to a program where you should be consistent.
So train your body and train your mind to sit down there. The reality of that and the tough part about that is how many times have you called off your lunch break or your dinner break?
Exactly.
Yeah, because a hot call comes in, and so
or you're eating your dinner too fast because you know you're going to get back to work.
Correct, and that will rear its head in some unhealthy ways.
Exactly.
What is some of the worst things that you've ever seen in unhealthy behavior? I want to put this out to everybody.
Aside from looking to your left.
You know, I'm getting to the point. I have some Disney characters in a bag outside.
The wind
you
is
will
blowing.
get sent
Kevin.
one in the box.
The wind is blowing. That hurricane's just.
It's going to be a 5.56 this time.
Curtains are going to be going up.
Linda, they're just stirring the pot.
I see that.
He's trying to break him mentally.
I'm utilizing my mental health.
Utilizing.
That's great.
Serious.
Good for you, Mike.
You learned a word.
Wait, I have a thought right now.
Oh boy, a thought.
So now you have all these.
I have a thought.
You know, my son and daughter were like, "Dad, please," like, you know, water, thought, fridge. I'm like, guys, this is.
So not only do you have to train your body, you have to train your mind, and you have to train your tongue.
Well, wait. Hold on. I do, but I got to get back to this. So now, going through all this. You say, you know, obviously we suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. I do, you know, and you get into a depressed state of mind. You know what I mean? In my past, you know, I've taken steps to better myself, you know what I mean, throughout the years. So when you're combining all those things together, you know, you can't do this, you know, you got to train your mind. It's quite impossible at that time. So what can you guys do at that time through your company? You know what I mean?
Well, we're going to get into Xbody. I don't want to get too far away from that, because I want to spend a lot of time.
He's starting me up now.
I know he's winding you up, and you don't.
He's.
Let me translate. You're not thinking straight. Thinking.
For the first time in years,
my father's he's gonna make his way back, and somebody's getting an ass whooping.
For the first time in years, he had a taught. Yeah, now you just took him off his taught.
Listen, don't feel bad the way so in Chicago we say aunt.
Say what?
We say aunt. So my aunt.
Yeah.
When I moved to New Jersey, everybody's like my aunt, and I'm like an ant. I'm thinking of an ant as a little insect on the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you guys referring to? Until I finally got it 20 plus years later that an aunt is an ant. So I understand how you feel, Mike.
In Hoboken,
it's all the same. We all talk the same. We all understand each other. You know, the big words we might sway away from.
In Hoboken, an aunt may be your sister. You never know.
No, that's not. That's Lyndhurst, man. What are you talking about?
We've all come across some really unhealthy people that we come in contact with who are law enforcement.
Okay.
And to me, it doesn't look good to the public when an officer gets out and has white powdered donut sugar on them, and their
shirts hanging out.
They're
you're overweight. Yeah,
it looks like they slept in their uniform. They've just become this really unhealthy person because it's a perpetuating thing. It means over and over. A perpetuating thing.
Write this down.
And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy as well. You know, that that on the go type of mentality leads to weight gain, to hypertension, to just some really unhealthy things in their life. So what do you think, though, out of your experience, what is the worst you've ever seen?
The consistency of them, or him and her, I should say, or an officer, a first responder, is their lack of self-control.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good point. That's a good
So
point.
it's a lack of self-control. Again, everything comes through your mind. If you set aside an hour for yourself, we're not going to say anything more, anything less. That hour a day makes a difference in your lifespan, whether it's your brain concentration, your body weight, your body health, the way you feel, the way you think, the way you even look. Give your body an hour a day.
It deserves it. You only get one.
You know, you only live once. Well, I shouldn't say you only live once. We live every day. If
You only
we
die once.
We only die once. So if you let yourself live every day by putting an hour of your day aside for you, then you have a longer lifespan.
But, you know, Kev, I mean, you say it all the time, too. First responders generally care more about other people than they care about themselves.
100%.
You're paid to take care of other people.
I don't even know
And
how to care
as
for myself.
First
Honestly.
responders don't take care of themselves.
Correct. That's
And
understandable.
I think that's where something like Xbody would come in.
Correct.
So that brings us to, we'll start to get into Xbody, because all these unhealthy behaviors that are exhibited by law enforcement,
Mhm.
they rear their heads in different ways, and it can affect your job performance.
Absolutely, because you're frustrated if you can't
get out
handle.
of the car because you're too heavy.
Right.
Or you're running, you can't run down anybody by the end of your career because you're overweight. You're breathing
but
like
what
James
is-
Gandolfini on the side.
At the end of the day, what is all that called for that specific person? Frustration. If they can't get out of the car because they're significantly overweight, they're frustrated. If they can't make a time for themselves or their family, they're frustrated.
But sometimes that could go either way. They could either say, I'm going to try to get myself better, or you get so frustrated, you're going to fall deeper into that
You
hole.
say, screw it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like going down the hill with no brakes. There's no point in steering.
Correct, but that's all ends where? Where does all that end? Into your mental health stage. So all that is, you either make yourself better because you want to be better, or you're just going to frustrate yourself to bury yourself with your own hands.
You're going to frustrate yourself to death is really what it's going to be.
That's literally what it is. If you put an hour aside for yourself, just like you may want to put an hour for your kids. You know, a lot of people have children. Don't you want to have time? Don't you want to live to see your child graduate college, high school, college, maybe get married, have kids, see your grandkids? Just that hour a day will make a difference, again, in your lifespan.
You don't want your kids saying, I just wish I had one more day.
Yeah.
When you have the power to give them one more day, almost.
Absolutely.
Almost.
Absolutely.
Aside from, freak accidents and
that's an
genetic
unfortunate,
effects.
right? That's an unfortunate, circumstance. But if you have control, again, over what you can do on a daily factor, then that's in your hands. At the end of the day, you can't blame anyone but yourself, whether you want to betterfy yourself or just, again, bury yourself right back to the ground.
So how did you get hooked up with Xbody? Now, Xbody is one of our proud sponsors, all right? And they've been with us for a little while now. And the reason it was such a good fit for the Suffering Podcast and Xbody to get involved is because the things that they're offering for first responders can give them one more day with their children.
Exactly. So it's funny you say that. I actually met a colleague of mine in Xbody, or at Xbody, at a police function. 2021, maybe early spring of 20, there was a police function that was hosted by the Honor Legion, the New Jersey Honor Legion. And I believe at the time it was called the President's Ball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I am a proud member of the Honor Legion. And President's Ball is their big
Correct.
annual dinner.
You're not a proud member. You're their poster child.
Shut up, bitch.
So I was at this event, and
It's like Jerry's kids.
employee of Xbody was there, and she turned out to be a good friend of one of my best friends, and we met, and she went back and spoke to the owner about me and my work ethics, and the owner called me, and we came to an agreement how to change or betterfy the practice to make it a better place for first responders.
Well, it's funny because the first responder world in general, we're very loyal people. And
Mhm.
here's how we do business. All right. Hey, Mike, I need my house painted. Do you
Do
know
you know a
any-
painter?
Do you know a painter?
I know a
Right,
guy.
of course.
I know
yep.
I need a mechanic. Mike.
I know a guy.
You know a guy. I'm going to
Mhm.
use your guy because they're going on her. So when you start getting into that first responder field and you build that loyalty, like, hey, go see Xbody because they took care of me when I had this.
Correct.
You know, Mike, like they do take care of erectile dysfunction. I just want to let you know.
You know, this is getting really serious now.
I definitely am not commenting on that, as you saw.
Listen,
No comment on my
they
behalf.
really want the hurricane to come out. I don't think there's enough cops in this
He'd
town.
be pissed if he really knew what erectile dysfunction meant.
This is why I'm keeping my comments to myself, Mike. I promise.
So
His finger doesn't go all the way. That's not erectile dysfunction, Mike. You know.
You know, this is the example of very jealous men.
No comment.
They envy me.
No comment. At the end of the day, Xbody will make sure that you go home happy.
well, one of the things I want to speak to you about.
Mike, that doesn't mean happy ending. They don't do that at Xbody. Watch your mouth.
So what
Actually, watch your mind, Mike.
Listen, I'm being very proper right now.
you are. I'm
being
very proud. I'm proud of you.
Because I'm telling him, I'm thinking my father will come down and give me a whack.
Dude, I'd love
You
to be in a car.
disrespect
with-
that woman is very
I'd love to be in a car with him on the way. He's going to be yelling and screaming at himself. He's going to let it all out.
But one of the very specific treatments that you offer can be used as first responders get older, especially, well, obviously just men, is the testosterone therapy. So
Correct.
as we get older, our testosterone drops. It leads to weight gain. It leads to sleep problems.
Of course.
It leads to worse performance. But you're a police officer. What are some of the contradictions with being a police officer? Because we can't, there's certain rules that we get drug tested.
Of course. So our guidelines are, and again, these guidelines are for your health purposes, I should say. So the protocol with that is you get blood work done. You get blood work done from every nerve in your brain to every nerve going down through your toes. And based off those results is how you get treated. Now, if your body needs testosterone injections, we'll give them to you.
So you start off doing a complete body scan.
Correct.
And this
Complete
is what you
body
need.
lab work.
Blood
Blood
workup.
work. Yes, a blood workup.
So you
And-
need A, B, C, and D.
Correct. So you can't come in and say, hey, I feel tired and I haven't slept last night and I need an energy booster because I want to go to the gym. Can I get an extra shot of testosterone? Absolutely not. Just because you think you want it, that doesn't mean your body needs it. It's only provided to you based off of what your lab results consist of. One, it's to protect you. One, we want you to live longer. Giving you too much testosterone can cause an extreme heart attack, which we don't want to do for you because your body doesn't need it. Top of it off, if you're young and you start off testosterone shots while you're young, it's going to give you a hard time as you get older, having kids, then your body will stop producing. Then now you have a problem.
If you're taking testosterone when you're younger, then your body stops.
Producing of course.
testosterone.
So,
You look
you'll
like
have
him.
you'll have problems not having kids.
Touche.
You'll have a problem having kids. There's just it's just a lot of issues that fall in that. Again, it works, hormonal imbalancing for a body is the goal here.
Well, so what you're boiling it down to is it's not a health and wellness center. It's a true medical
true
facility.
science.
Of course, it's science. Perfect. Yes, it's all about science. You're going to get treated based off what your body needs, not what you think your body needs. It's based off the results that come from your body.
So sticking with that testosterone therapy, if somebody their body needed that extra testosterone, what are some effects that we can expect to get as a result from that?
Well, your numbers are going to start to climb to the normal factors based off your age and your weight. Your lifestyle becomes better. Now you're going to start feeling energized. You're going to sleep better. You're going to be more productive, more functional. There's less frustrated, more active.
Was it fix a Hoboken accent?
I haven't slept in like 7 years. You got something for that?
We need to balance you. That's what we need to do. We got to balance your body out.
Well, he's been a big detractor. Like we've had conversations, Mike DePalma and I. He's like, I'm not going to that place. It's for women. Like seriously, that's what the conversations.
Believe it or not, 90% of our practice are men.
Okay.
so you don't have to tuck it in like we were talking about.
Well, that's why I'm very hesitant. You know what I mean?
No. It's a wellness center, and a majority of our patients are men. Believe it or not, the men come in there not just for testosterone therapy. They come in for even spa treatments. They see our, esthetician.
Yes, and I was forced to get a spa treatment.
Here we go.
So when we were exploring possibly teaming up with Xbody, I was forced by our very own Katia Roman to go in there and get a facial.
Okay, and you got
By the way, I
best
thought
facial.
a facial was totally different than what it was.
I can see it didn't work. All right.
Here it goes.
What do you think? It's going to remove my eyebrows or
Here
something?
we go.
Listen. A guy's idea of a facial and a female's idea of a facial.
Totally
two
different.
Totally
Totally
different things.
Two different things, yes.
So
But Kevin went up there for the real facial thing.
So it was not relaxing. It was very good. It was very healthy, but it wasn't what I thought it was. It was actually for the health of my skin.
Absolutely.
And listen, I'm making fun, but Katia was unbelievably good and professional, and she really knows her stuff. Like, hey, and she's into it too, which is kind of creepy. She's really like into it. She's like, yeah, look at this and look at this and look at this. I'm like, I really don't want to see that stuff. Just go to
Well,
work.
she was giving you the educational background
Correct.
of what you needed to know about your skin.
Right.
Now, mind you, Xbody is a functional medicine practice where, again, we treat you internally, and then you got the spa factor where you visit Katia to treat you the external part,
Right.
where you can keep the beauty on the inside also visible on the outside.
Do you think they can Botox his face shut?
She just talked about beauty on the outside after he went for a facial.
I'm going to have to agree with him. You were very, very rude to me.
That's how you draw people in on your side.
He's the one that's bringing up big words that you don't understand.
So back to Mike's situation. Yes, our clientele is, the majority of them are men. A lot of them that attend the gym, they come in for weight loss programs, or they'd like to be put on a dietary program. They come in for immunity boosters. Mind you, a lot of you officers are on the street dealing with a lot of dirty stuff, I should say. I shouldn't say anything other than that. Whether you're dealing...
We don't deal with the cleanest clientele.
Point well taken. We understand what you're saying.
So you want to cleanse your body. You want to give your body a good immunity booster. So again, the men factor of treating themselves internally is a whole different baseline off from a female. Female likes to do her, treat herself from A to Z, versus a male's like, nope, I need this. Let me get this done. I'm out the door. But that's actually the wrong mentality. You also want to treat yourself from A to Z so you know what is wrong. In your case, you just told us what was wrong with
Ultimately,
you.
we want to be better officers. That's the bottom line.
Right.
I don't think there's many police. Right. We want to be better
and you want to be able to
officers.
do your job more effectively.
Do you
Absolutely.
do gamma radiation?
Do we do what? I'm sorry?
Gamma radiation, because I want to turn into the Hulk.
No. Trust me, I want to be the Hulk sometimes
Affected
myself.
by gamma rays.
You're right.
One thing I want to bring.
You can experiment on me. I'll try
You-
it.
You don't like Mike when he's angry.
You are a walking experiment.
I can just imagine myself as the Hulk. Jesus.
So as a better officer, let's do this. To make you a better officer, you'll be programmed.
better fireman, better EMT,
Right.
all
A
across
first
the board.
responder, in general. We give you a program where, you should eat better, sleep better.
Because sleep for a first responder in general is probably the most valuable thing that is so deficient in our lifestyles.
And that leads to the mental health issue also.
Absolutely. So lack of sleep will give you that mentality where, like, you know what, I could, if I haven't slept in 12 hours, I can go on for another 12 hours. That's actually the wrong way of putting your life at risk. Not only are you putting your own life at risk, you're putting the life that's around you, whether it's a coworker or a person that you're trying to defend or protect. You're not helping anyone by you staying, oh, let me stay up another 12 hours of the day.
You're just not as sharp.
You're not. You have to, again, give your body that 1 hour a day to betterfy yourself, and it'll give you that consistency of sleeping 8 hours a day or 7 hours a day. And it'll give you that focus to work the next day and be a better person with your colleagues or people on the street or whomever you're dealing with.
So
One thing I wanted to touch on, when you brought up like weight loss and you looked at Mike and brought up weight loss,
I did not do that.
tell us about this gut health stuff that you guys do. I'm
so
asking a question.
actually the gut health.
I had a thought. Leave me alone.
Because
Yeah, I want to know about this gut health.
Gut health is a big issue.
It's actually an extreme big issue. So I'll give you a small story. I had 2 police officers. Both officers work together on the road. They're both in the same patrol car, 9-10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. Complained of back pain, consistent. And they've went to, an orthopedist, spine doctor. They've had MRIs done, extreme physical therapy. Both officers had the same issue. So they call me and they're like, we're going to try your office out. Again, we did the full lab work results, package on them. They did the gut health and they tested both positive. Being positive for gut health it's an H. pylori. So it's like a virus or a germ in your gut. So when the exam comes back positive, it's like an infection. Now that infection, where are your guts located? They're, right in the area of your back, your stomach, you're bloated, you're tired.
How many times have we gone in headquarters ripping off our keepers to get to the bathroom? And it sounds funny when I say it, and it is funny when it happens, but that's a big problem.
That's unhealthy, extremely. Yeah. That's very unhealthy. When they both tested positive for this exam, obviously we know, they share the same car, they're touching the same cups, they're touching the same equipment. So it's a virus. So by them testing positive, they got treated, through their, treatment program, whether it was an antibiotic or a supplement. And believe it or not, both of these officers came back 10 days later for a follow-up saying, I just felt like I touched the sky, because now they feel light. They're not bloated. They're not as tired. No more back pain, where most of the doctors and physical therapists were telling them, oh, your back pain is all consistent from the belt that you wear all day and sitting in the car.
Which most cops think.
Yeah.
But in all reality, you also have to give your gut a moment to heal your body, because everything that occurs in your body sits in your gut.
That's one thing that I've spent a lot of time on, because I've had a bad stomach since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me about 3 or 4 years to totally repair my gut biome,
Mm-hmm.
to the point now where I'm a big believer in fasting. Right.
Okay.
So I'm a big, 16 to 18 hours every single day, because I finally got it. Like when you put your muscles under stress in the gym, say you're doing biceps today. Well, you're not going to go back tomorrow and do biceps.
I know you.
Yeah, you're not going to.
Saw it though.
I did. I saw your.
All right.
So looking
Just a minute.
looking good. I'll kiss him later.
Okay.
You can be like Thunder Lips.
All right.